Hi everybody, I'm Mrs. Rushfield and welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to show you guys how to make challah dough. Do the best I can. I don't have much to say except for a lot of things. So first thing you need to do is make sure you have 5 pounds of flour. I, during the quarantine, have been getting my flour in really big amounts, like 25-pound bags, and then I've been cutting it down into 5 pounds. 5-pound smaller bags, so I'm ready to go every week. I'm looking for something to put my iPad on, but that's okay. I'll just do it like this, all right? Because you know what's going on? The rest of my family is either at work or at school right now, and so I got to do this all by myself. I put on lipstick so I look a little bit better. Okay, 5 pounds of flour into the bowl. Now watch this. This is the cool part. You see the bowl? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna make a well in the middle of it, like a dent. Do you see that, guys? Make a dent in the middle of your flour. You need a really big bowl. I recommend a big plastic bowl because for some reason that seems to work better. Okay, then after you make the well, then you need to make a little channel around the edge, like a little moat. So do you see that? You've got a deep well in the middle. You've got that channel around the edge. Because now you're going to add all the cool stuff to it. Okay? What you need to use is 4 tablespoons of it. I know this seems like a lot, but it is a lot. That's what you got to do. It's a lot. That's how it rises all good. I just used this a minute ago, so I'm washing it. Okay? So you put in 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, it all goes into that well there, into the middle. Got that? Now you're going to put a tablespoon, 1 tablespoon of sugar. But you get to see a little bit about what life is like in my house, right? You see all that stuff on the wall there? That's because people know that I'm in a lot of plays. And when I'm trying to learn my lines, I hang them up all over my house. I'm not in a play right now. In fact, that play's from a couple years ago, but I like to have it there just to remind me. Okay, 1 tablespoon of sugar. See? Tablespoon. Pour it on top of the yeast. I'll show you what that looks like. Ta-da! See? 1 cup of warm water. See? 1 cup of water. Not quite there. There you go. You take your 1 cup of water and you pour it on top of the whole thing. Right there in the middle where you just finished putting your yeast and your sugar. See, the really cool thing about yeast is that it eats sugar so it can grow and do its thing. So you want to let that sit for a little while till it starts bubbling. Now is a good time to get your other stuff ready, okay? You're gonna need 3 eggs. You're gonna need a cup of sugar. You're gonna need a cup of oil. You're gonna need 3 cups of warm water. Get 2 tablespoons of salt. Watch what you do. You don't want the salt to touch the yeast right now because that'll make the yeast stop working. So what you gotta do is you put it, you see? Right along the edge. That little channel that you made. That's why you did it. I'm going to put the other tablespoon of salt right along the edge so it doesn't touch any of the yeast. They'll be friends later, but they're not friends right now. You've got the salt around the edge. You got the yeast doing its thing in the middle with the sugar. And you got the flour just chilling. Do you see all of that? There you go. Yes, I know my house is not the neatest house, but there's just always a lot going on here, right? For people that don't know, I have 2 children. They are 16 and 20 years old. They like to make a lot of messes. They don't like cleaning them up. Sometimes I have to clean them up. I got my cup of sugar ready to go. I'm just letting it sit. Don't do anything yet. Just let it sit. You want to crack your eggs. 3 eggs or 4 if you want. I have a problem. One of my kids ate our eggs, but I found some egg whites and I still have 2 other eggs, so I have to make a little change today. I just ordered more eggs. So welcome to my world of my children sometimes taking things that I need. That's what happens in everybody's house. Got your eggs. And then you're gonna wanna, see, eggs. You're gonna wanna mix them up. Da da da. Hello, eggs. They're just chilling, doing their thing. You can't really see my face. I gotta stand back here. I got a lot on my refrigerator, I noticed too. There's just a lot going on in this house. A whole lot. Okay, so you need 3 or 4 eggs. You need 1 cup of sugar. You already put in 2 tablespoons of salt. You're gonna need 1 cup of oil. Look at my flour, at my yeast. See how it's bubbling up? That's what you want your yeast to do. You want it all bubbly, bubbly like that, because you know what? Now you can add the next stuff. You're gonna need a spoon. I'm getting a spoon. I like to use a wooden spoon. You know why? Because one time I used a wooden spoon and it was good. And then ever since then, I just always use a wooden spoon. Okay, pour in the eggs into the middle where all the bubbly is happening. Pour in the oil into the middle where all the bubbly is happening. Put the sugar around the edge. It's like a work of art when you do this. Whoop! I'll show you what it looks like. See that? It's pretty good, huh? Now you have to add 3 cups of warm water. Here we go. That's 2 cups. 1 more cup. One more cup. Woo-hoo-hoo! Filled up my whole bowl. Look at this mess. Woo! Look at that. That's right. Now comes the time when I'm gonna mix it. Gotta mix it and mix it and mix it. Just like this. Woo-hoo! Can't really see, can you? See? That's what I'm doing. Mixing and mixing. It's gonna take a little while. You gotta get the stuff from the edges, get it all mixed in together. You don't want it to spill everywhere, so you gotta be careful. I'm making a little bit of a mess. It's okay. Here we go. After you mixed it for a little while with the spoon, it's time to use your hands. Wipe all that off the spoon. Make sure your hands are clean. And in they go. You just got to keep mixing it and mixing it and mixing it with your hand. It's messy. That's why I have an apron on, because it gets all over me. But it's okay. Right now, it feels like it's never going to be challah. Right now, it's like, ew, it's gross. But you got to give it a little time. Okay, you got to trust in it. You got to understand that challah is magic. And it'll happen. Maybe. Sometimes it doesn't work. But almost always it does. And if not, you pretend like it was really good. That's all you got to do. Okay, are you still mixing it? Because that's what I'm doing. Mixing it and mixing it and mixing it. Here's the thing about challah. It takes like, I don't know, a few hours to do. You start it in the morning, you do some stuff, you come back, you gotta knead it again, and you let it sit again, you go do something else, you gotta let it knead it again. You gotta give it a whole day. Not a whole day, you gotta give it like 4 hours. That's a lot. it's worth it. You got to pick up the bits. I would show you what it looks like, but my hands are covered right now. But look, it's getting better. See? Here we go. You just got to keep punching at it and mixing it and mixing it and punching it. Look, my hands are all covered. That's okay though. Just take it off. It'll get better. Trust. You gotta trust in the challah. People say to me, how did you start making challah? And the story is very simple. I never made challah my whole life until like a few years ago. A few years ago, my Aunt Georgie was very sick. She doesn't live near me. She lives in New Jersey. I live in Washington, D.C. Well, near Washington, D.C. She was very sick. And her daughter said, we need a bunch of women to make challah in her honor, that she'll have a recovery. I guess it's a thing. It's a custom that if enough people make challah in your honor, maybe you'll feel better. So I said, okay, I'll make challah, but I didn't know how. So I asked my friend Devora, I said, how do you make challah? She gave me a recipe for 5 pounds of challah. I said, that's crazy. I don't want that much challah. So then I looked it up. I Googled it. I looked up easy challah recipe. Guess what? I made an easy challah recipe. It was terrible. So then the next week, I tried another one. That was terrible. Oh, because by the way, Aunt Georgie was doing fine. So I thought, I need to keep making challah. Somehow it's making her healthy. Doesn't make sense, but okay, I'll do it. I kept trying and trying. My poor family had to eat this terrible challah. It was terrible. It was like eating a rock, or worse. And then I found this recipe. I kept trying new ones. You know how you gotta keep trying new things sometimes? So I kept looking until I tried this one. This is the only recipe that my family liked. And it was so good that I make it the same way every week, no matter what. I add different things to it. Like if it's Rosh Hashanah, I add in apples and cinnamon. If it's Yom HaAtzmaut, I put in blue sprinkles. Things like that. But it's almost the same thing. Sometimes it's been different during the quarantine because of eggs. It's hard to get eggs sometimes, or flour, or yeast. So sometimes that's been a little hard. But I still do it. But now my family doesn't need so much challah. So now I tell everybody on Facebook to let me know if they need some challah dough. And then I put it in a package outside my door, and they take it home with their kids, and they braid it and cook it, and everybody's happy. My family's happy because they don't have to eat so much. And those families are happy because they had something to do on a Friday, and they had delicious challah. When you see this challah right now, this dough, you're not going to believe it, because a little while ago it just looked like a hot mess, right? But this whole time that I've been talking, I've been kneading it, and look at it now. It looks like dough, doesn't it? You keep doing that until it looks like it doesn't have any chunky stuff in it. You just keep smashing it and mixing it and mixing it and smashing it. Because then you're going to let it sit. You don't want to mess with it too much. If you mess with it too much, then it gets hard and yucky. So you want it to be just right. So I do all this, right? I turn it over a lot of times. Okay, see, I'm letting it sit there. Now, I'm gonna put some plastic on it to let it rise. That's all you gotta do. My hands are even clean because it doesn't stick at the end after you mixed it a lot. Put some plastic on it and let it sit for like an hour. Then in an hour, you're gonna mush it and knead it and do all that. punch it down. Then let it sit for another hour. And you're gonna punch it down, you're gonna push it, you're gonna knead it. And then, maybe you wanna start making it into challah. Start doing that thing. So there. I put plastic on it. I think because the plastic traps the heat inside, because the yeast, when it's working, kind of heats it up. See that? So there's plastic on it. I'm gonna let it sit there for an hour, and then we'll do the next step. See you later. All right, you guys, it's an hour later. Look how much. See how it's coming out the top? It's because it's rising. What do? Take off the lid, but hold on to it. And now, watch this. Punch it down. Punch it down. Punch it down. Woohoo! Punch it down. Do a bunch of this, okay? You gotta do this. See? Smushed it back down. That's all. Gotta knead it. See how much better the dough feels too? Feels like real dough. Turn it over. Smush it some more. Gotta really knead it around. See? That's all I'm doing. After you've done a little bit of that, let it sit. Let it sit another hour.